Hey guys, Cyndi Williams here, the travel career coach. I'm here with the amazing Sarah Marshall, the real Sarah Marshall, as we say, right? From TravelAble Vacations. Sarah, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So guys, Sarah was a graduate of our Careers on Vacation Mastermind, and I invited her on the show today because I really wanted to spotlight her amazing story and her amazing brand, and just share her case study with you. So Sarah, thank you for joining us.
You're
If
most
you Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, share a little bit with us about your story. Where was your business before doing the Careers on Vacation Mastermind, and where are you now?
I come from a government background. My husband and I both worked for the government. My husband still does. And so we've traveled the world. Oh gosh, we've lived everywhere. And I was looking for, it came to a point where I needed to find a business that was both portable, that would meet my lifestyle of living somewhere different every couple of years, and home-based. And so I started my journey with a Disney-only host. They're a small family-owned operation. They were very supportive, and I got a lot of knowledge. But after about 6 months, my contract was up, and I realized that I hadn't made many sales, and I realized that my passions lie more with the niche that I'm currently serving, and that niche didn't really fit with their model. And so after about 6 months, my contract was up, and I left and pursued my own business, joined a different host, and created TravelAble. So I would say, I've been in business actually a year now. And when I first started, it was April of last year. And I think I entered the Careers on Vacation in June. And the reason that I entered it so soon after I started was because even though I had a little bit of experience and I knew sort of how the general flow of travel agency work should work, there was a lot I just didn't know about a business, running a business. And I'm a bit of a business coach junkie. So I had spent so much money with all these other business coaches that just didn't get what I was trying to do. And so when I saw the call for attendees to the Careers on Vacation, I was like, oh, you gotta sign me up. And so, at that point, I really wasn't making any sales. I maybe had onesie twosies, but within about, I'm going to say 4 months of us working together, I was on track to make like $100,000 in sales.
Woo!
So,
I love
I know.
So when you work
Yeah.
with someone who's already doing what you're trying to accomplish,
Yes.
you feel like, yeah. And there's, because we get a lot of people in the program that are like, I tried this business coach or I tried this marketing guru, and like it took me 25 years to get here, right? And get the systems and processes and make all the mistakes and put that together. And I think that's probably one of the biggest factors in our system, is the kind of those proven systems. But that's amazing, over $100,000 within a few months, you guys. Are you kidding me? That's so awesome, Sarah.
But I have to say, for those people who are sort of on the fence still,
Yeah.
it's not just about the value that the program brings, but it's the value that you bring, Cyndi Williams. Because as I said, I'm a business coach junkie. I've met with a lot of people who, when I explained what I wanted to do, said, you're going to fail. And the first call we ever had,
I remember that.
you
I know
were
it was
like,
a year ago. I
I
remember
don't care. You are going to be amazing at what you're doing, and I don't care what anyone else says. We are going to make a plan that works for you. So it was really taking me where I was and building me up, as opposed to saying this model doesn't fit with your business. It was very like a personalized, we're going to build you up. And that's why I'm so successful,
And
in addition to the
just because it didn't exist at the time doesn't mean it's not possible. Like, get out of your head, people. I thought your idea was brilliant, and just building the structure around it. Tell everybody, Sarah, what you do.
All right. So my tagline, if you will, or my 30-second is, TravelAble Vacations is a premier accessible travel agency that that provides customized adventures to families and individuals with disabilities. So I solely work in the disabled community. I am the mom of a young man who has autism and some medical challenges. And so my experience comes from traveling the world and trying to accommodate my son. So I've worked with families in with MS, children with Down syndrome, autism, folks who have amputations or were injured in some way, and have been used to living a certain way of life and traveling a certain way, and now their normal has changed. And
Yeah.
so rather than saying, okay, we're going to go to this package deal, we do a lot of talking with the client, and we say, what is the experience that you want to have?
Mhm.
We take that and we customize it using our suppliers and things to make sure that all the accommodations are in place for that person to have this amazing, to have the experience that they want,
Yep.
as opposed to the experience that I imagine that they want to have.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And
so key. And serving that community is such a beautiful thing, because guess what? Everybody wants to travel. Everybody deserves to travel. And so being that advisor, expert, and filling that need, where I can only imagine it can be intimidating walking into certain situations.
yeah.
In our agency, we do it to a limited degree, but you are the expert at it because you live and breathe it. And it's all the little things people don't think about, like what could make people feel uncomfortable. And so I love what you do. I knew right away on that first call. I don't know why people were telling you, some people don't have vision, Sarah. They don't have vision. And I knew it would be a big success, and it is a big success, and I'm loving that for you. What would you say has been your biggest achievement or your biggest win or celebration since taking the program?
Well, I'll talk a little bit about the expos. So I've had a lot of trouble figuring out how best to market to my target audience. This is always an ongoing struggle with me. Not everybody can use the computer well, or maybe they are so busy that they're not on social media all the time.
Yeah.
And so I want to say it was like 3 or 4 weeks into the program, I had the opportunity to, okay, let me take this back. So I had already signed up for an expo, to have a booth at an expo in Chicago. It's a national expo. It's called the Abilities Expo. And the booth was really, really expensive, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And right before I joined the program, I was like, oh, I'm not ready. My logo isn't ready. All this stuff. I really didn't feel like I was going to go out there and make a big show. And to be fair, like, I am a perfectionist. So if it didn't look super professional, I didn't want to waste my time or money, And I want to say it was like 3 or 4 weeks into the program that the expo was actually happening. And I remember going into the group, in the Facebook group, being like, I don't think I could do this. And everybody was like, yes, you can. Like, we got my logo done real quick. We got all my, my banner and everything with the help of everybody in the group.
Yep.
And you said to me, I just remember you like, you never will know unless you try. So it just so happened that the night before I was set to start this expo, they called me and they said, hey, a speaker has dropped out. Are you willing to speak? And I did come into the program with a sort of a side career, if you will, as a public speaker. And so I was like, oh yeah, I was hoping I'd be able to speak, but you were all full. So I got online again. I was like, help, I have to write a speech in like 2 hours because I have to give it tomorrow morning. Everybody rallied around and we got the speech going. And then, so the next day I show up at the expo, I set it up, it looks great. And I gave my speech and it went really well. So about a couple hours after the speech, the woman who runs the speakers for all of their expos, so they've got 9 nationally, and in all the big markets, New York, LA, Toronto, Dallas, Houston, Phoenix. They're just doing a new one in Miami, but I can't remember where the other one was, Boston maybe or something. And she said, look, we need someone to speak about autism travel. I'd like to have you come to more of our expos. So I said, great. So she said, submit a proposal. And I submitted my proposal and I got 5 expos out of it. LA, Houston, Dallas, Phoenix, and Chicago. And so when I went, we did all the standard expo stuff you asked, you tell us to do. I had a giveaway. It was really cute. Sign up sheets. And I remember each day when I came home from the expo, it was a 3-day expo, I'd get online and be like, okay, this is how many emails I got. Is that okay? And we would tailor. I remember you giving me advice like on a Saturday that I implemented on the Sunday because we really needed to move it around because the flow into the booth wasn't working. And anyway, I learned a ton of lessons, but within 2 weeks, within the 2 weeks after my expo, I had sent out, you know, the automation email to everybody that gave me their email. I had more bookings in those 2 weeks. I would say I had about $80,000 in bookings than I had in the whole year before I even joined them.
Yes. Yes.
And, you know, I mean, I have to give credit to myself. I am pretty cute and people like to talk to me.
Right.
But a lot of it was motivation that you and the group gave, because I really didn't think I could do it. And you were like, you need to do it. So I've pivoted my marketing so that this year, and unfortunately the pandemic has put a little spin on it, but this year I'm only doing the expos. So in February of this past February, I went to LA right before they closed down. And that was a phenomenal expo. I got like 600 emails. I have so many future partnerships, like people who want to cross market, people who want me to sell their items or, you know, advertise, give me codes so that my followers can get a discount. I mean, I've created so many relationships. They filmed me and I was on their like news. I met celebrities. It was like, and actually, I haven't told you this story, but when I was in LA at this expo, a guy came over and I had my dad with me, and he was helping me at the booth. So my dad was talking to him and I was busy with someone else. And so my dad said, "Hey, Sarah, when you have a minute." And I was like, "Yeah, you know, I'll be right over." The guy waited for like an hour. I finally like made it over there. I was like, "I'm so sorry, you could have gone away and come back." He's like, "No, I really want to talk to you. Have you ever thought about partnering with a celebrity?" And I was like, sure, you know, like have you ever thought of, you know, do you have a business plan? Yes, I have a business plan, thanks to Careers on Vacation. Do you have a marketing plan? Yes, I have a marketing plan. Okay, send it over. I'd like to see if we can invest. I guess the guy is the manager of some pro wrestler who went viral, and he's looking for partners. And I was like, it's just one of those things that you never thought would happen to you. And I was like, oh, my mind is blown at this point. So yeah, it's been kind of a crazy and fast journey.
That was like 10 wins and celebrations, but I love it because I remember your very first call with me and you're like, I just see myself like on Good Morning America. Like that's my biggest, and you are on such a path to that. It would not surprise me if tomorrow I turned on my TV with all of the success you've had. And, you know, the expos and how you maximize those. That's one, you know, we teach you all different types of marketing, but in the program, guys, you get how to get your first 100 leads. And it literally is a step-by-step how to put those shows together. And it was Sarah's first, I don't know, was that your first show ever that you did?
It was my first large scale show. I had done like resource fairs, 4-hour resource
smaller ones.
But this was like on a national level. I mean, you had to order electricity and you had to order carpet, all that stuff.
Yeah. And so
expo.
And learning how to optimize those, like I remember you got I think it was over 300 leads on that first show, right? Yeah. So, promise 100, you got 300, but being able to maximize that process and look at what it has led to for you. And I think, we're going to get into mindset in a second, but look how one decision just has unveiled this beautiful path of like successes and crazy. Yeah. That's how it works when you are in alignment with your purpose. Don't you agree?
Oh, totally. I mean, when I was just with Disney, I was learning to be a travel agent, and that was great. But there was no passion for it. I couldn't get up in front of someone and speak for an hour passionately about something and really drive them to my cause. Yeah. Because it wasn't something, I mean, yes, I love Disney, but it wasn't something that I connected with as much as I connected with the people that I'm helping. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't even matter right now. I don't primarily focus on a product. I focus on a people. And that shift was huge because now I have relationships as opposed to clients. Does that make sense? So, people who have met me, even if they weren't ready to use me, like for instance, I had a woman, she uses another travel agent. She's used them for 20 years. She went on a cruise in January and she was afraid that her travel agent hadn't appropriately contacted the cruise line about her wheelchair. Yeah. So she said, "Can you go in and help me?" And I was like, "No, because I don't have access to that. However, I can give you some advice. And I think that your travel agent has done a fantastic job." So, I don't like to sell out other travel agents, but the minute she got back from that cruise, she emailed me and she said, "Your advice was spot on. We're going to use you from now on."
Yep.
So, it's not, I'm selling that cruise, but I am rebuilding this relationship. I have a woman who's on my email list. I met her in Chicago. Every time I send out an email on my email list, she replies and she's like, "Hey, it's so good to hear from you." She's never going to book a trip because we're getting her up to it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had put something together for her that got canceled by the pandemic, but but I love that she emails me every single time I send out an email, and we talk about her fears and whatever. She'll book eventually. But again, it's not that I'm focusing so much on that supplier, that destination, as that person. I'm focusing on her and her needs. And then she comes back every single time.
Love that. And that's really how you build what we teach you in the program, which is a recurring business model in terms of how do you not just warm up and close a lead, but then how do you foster that relationship going forward? Because that is what year over year will build you bigger and bigger every year. And you are so on the path to that, which is amazing. How would you say the mindset work impacted you, if it did, in your life or business when you went through the program?
Well, when I started with the program, I was really in a low place. So many people that were respected in my community for their business knowledge sort of told me I would fail. And so I came into the program almost not sure that I would make it through in terms of that my business would survive. I felt like, I'm just not sure this is right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I really need to change everything. And again, like you said on that first call, like, let's make your dream a reality. Let's tailor whatever we're doing to what you want to do. And yeah, I had to change some things, but the mindset piece of like knowing that I am in it for this greater purpose kept me driving. In fact, I have a little index card, if you will, taped to my wall that says, "You do good for others every day." Because I need to remember, and that came from some of the mindset work, I need to remember that when things like the pandemic happen and I lose all my sales, that it isn't just about that I am in this for helping others. Whether that means I pivot my business in different ways, it opens up a way for me to be more involved in my business. And that shift has been huge because it's affected my relationships with my family. Before, I felt like I was a drain because I wasn't making the money, but I was spending all this money. My husband was like, "I don't know if this is the right move." He wanted me to be in a job that had retirement. And now that I'm able to look at myself and see the good that I'm doing and really have that positive mindset shift, he starts to see the good that I'm doing, and he's starting to take my business cards in his wallet and hand them out or create partnerships for me. So a lot of areas in my life were touched by shifting my mindset to that way.
And guys, it's so important. Like in Sarah's case, I remember her first call and you did come discouraged, but but you weren't willing to give up like on your dream. People are going to tell you your idea is crap. They're going to tell you it's not going to work but here's the thing, that's their fear. It's not yours. Like you're getting some free coaching right now, you in the world, right? But I hear it all the time. People are like, "Oh, my husband doesn't think it'll work," or this person said this, or this person, or even right now, like as we're going through COVID-19, like our agency's still making sales. We're still making money. But there are some people that have just shut down business and decided that this is the reality and because XYZ. But the thing about it is, a real entrepreneur and a person who really is going to see it through and have that passion, you have to believe in yourself more than anyone else in the world. And sometimes it comes down to your closest family not believing in it, your friends not believing in it. And you have to then make a decision to circle yourself in an environment where other people are being successful at what you're trying to do, which is why mastermind format works so good. But also, you got to change stuff up here. The minute you made that shift and said, "Oh my gosh, there's someone that believes that this is possible," I didn't have to do anything else for you, because once you took the chains off of those like gremlins that we call them in the system, and you got into the process of, this is going to be a success, and right into action, right? It's not all just mindset stuff. We're giving you systems and processes and tools, and here is what works. Here's what we proved year over year, pandemic or not, will work in the industry. And if for those of you who are out there and, you know, it doesn't matter what everyone else is telling you, Sarah is such a perfect example of like following her true north and what she knew she wanted to do with her life and what she wanted to create in her world. And then here we are. So I love that the mindset opened the door for you. You did all the work. I don't take any credit for that. But it's obviously been an honor to kind of help you on this process and watch how crazy your business just took off through the past year and national speaking engagements. You're basically an influencer for your industry now.
I know.
Going from people telling you no, 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 and feeling like you're a drag on financials to this huge success in under a year. Girl, I am so proud of you. I'm like so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. It's amazing. So I know I always ask everyone, like, what was you had been through, you mentioned at the beginning of the call, you'd been through a bunch of business coaches and didn't get results. What was the process like for you personally to jump into Careers on Vacation? Was it hard for you? Take us back to that time and when you had to make that decision to invest in yourself again, when everyone was telling you, no, don't do it. Don't do it. What was that like for you?
You know, to be fair, I kind of don't remember why I made the jump. I really do feel like I was looking for someone who was knowledgeable, who I felt was an industry leader and an expert to tell me I was okay. That's honestly what I wanted. So many people, yeah, so many people had told me I wasn't okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I went through the intro call and they told me everything that you were going to do, I was like, well, some of this I've already done, but that's okay. That's okay. I really just want to talk to the expert and I want to know that it's going to be okay. And then when I got like the modules and I started going, I was like, even though some of the stuff I had technically already done, there was so much insight to it that I hadn't thought about that really made me like step back and think, oh, wait, I've done that, but did I really do it? Or did I really do it correctly? And so some things I redid, and that was, you know, a really good idea. But I didn't really mention this, but I actually also shifted my name, even though I wasn't technically still in business. Before Careers on Vacation, I was called something else. And then I changed my name, but didn't have any of the materials. So it was actually really great to go back through all the like setup stuff simply because I hadn't done that with my new name. And so I was able to really get a better start on it than before where I was sort of piecemealing it, you know, and then each module built, which was fantastic because then you're not getting a whole bunch of jargon that you can't use, or you're like, in some of my other business coach relationships, people would say, well, you have to do this. And I was like, it does not fit with a travel agent model. Yeah, I don't care. The only way you're going to be successful is you do this. I was like, no, it doesn't work that way. And so, you know, going through it again, but from a travel agent perspective, was hugely important to me, because you were like, this does work as a travel agent. You're like, oh, I get that now.
Industry don't work in others. I'm telling you, because we have our own agency. I don't just make this stuff up, you know, or go to a marketing seminar and decide to train you stuff. We test it in our own highly profitable agency before we say, yes, this works, right? That's so important.
Yeah. So, you know, and I think, you know, again, I think it was just the validation that led me to click the button. But I was definitely glad I did once I got the first module, because I was like, okay, this is right. This feels right. This is exactly where I need to be. You know, some modules I was able to get through quicker if I had that knowledge already. Some I took slower if I didn't and wanted to really do it well.
Yeah, marketing's a beast. It's 3 modules. but you have all these tools, you know, and all that good stuff. So what would you tell that person who's considering Careers on Vacation, whether they're brand new and thinking, you know, we have our new agent track, you were on our experience track. What would you tell that person who's out there right now? They have all this extra time on their hands and they're sitting on the fence about making the decision. What would you tell them about us?
Well, so first of all, you know, props to Cyndi Williams. She is an amazing coach to work with. So positive. I don't think I ever heard a negative thing come out of your mouth. Even when in a mastermind, you were telling us it wasn't a good idea. You were like, honey, that's not a good idea. You still had a smile on your face. And it was, you know, it was so positive. And if you're looking for that kind of motivation, you definitely need to click the button. You know, even as somebody who had been doing travel for almost a year by the time I joined, it still gave me so much added value. Totally worth the cost of admission, because my business skyrocketed. I thought I was set. And then like within 2 weeks, my business was like 6 times the way it was before. So I think if you're in that place where you're like, something needs to change, I need validation, I'd like to scale up, I'd like, there's so many reasons why you would join, but it really is, it's so much value in the program. Even, the value in the people that you meet. I'm with Travel Quest. So at the recent Travel Quest World, all the careers on vacation grads got together.
Yes, the graduates were all sending me
pictures.
pictures.
We went to the parks. We there was this like sense of we have this community. I still reach out to people and ask them questions like offline. Hey, I heard you were doing that. I've gotten referrals from careers on vacation graduates. I've got, it's such a community. It's so positive. It's totally, I'm so glad I joined.
I'm glad you did too. And you're in the grad group too. So we have hundreds of people over there that have been through the same program. And it's a very tight knit, I call it like the cool kids of the industry, like, cause we all know the systems that are working, everyone's rocking their businesses. When you guys go out to these events, we'll do meetups and things like that. So I think that that's amazing. And it really is, this business is very scalable if you know what you're doing. It's systems, tools, support, repeatable processes that you would never know coming off the street, because how could you? You haven't spent the last 25 years doing it like I have, right? But it can feel overwhelming, and a lot of people outgrow their hosts, right? And then they want to do their own thing. That's pretty normal. So it's one of those things where it's just pulling levers and learning what you need to learn in a condensed time frame. And like Sarah's case, she just said 6 times the amount of business she was doing coming out of the mastermind. The business is simple. You get more leads, you know how to close, you make more money. It really is, if you look at the math of it, but it's the, how do I get more leads that people struggle with? How do I close effectively? Or the stuff in between, like good branding, how to talk to clients, all of those things. So Sarah, I am so glad to call you a graduate of our community. I'm so excited. I really feel like you're a year in, I've had all these successes, but I still feel like this is the starting point for you. Like any day I'm going to be like coffee mug and I'm like, there's Sarah and Good Morning America. And I'm going to feel so honored to have been a part of your origin story. So thank you for trusting us with your business and allowing us to help you with yours. And guys, listen, if you are in the shoes Sarah was a year ago, or you are brand new and you have no idea where to start, but you want to do this in a big way, not just, DIY or duct tape or, waste your time for years trying to figure it all out. Apply for the mastermind. We have a few spots every month. As people graduate, we can let others in. So the discovery call is super easy. Sarah, the discovery call is not hard, right? It's not intimidating. No, it's really just one of our coaches understanding your goals and see if it's a fit to work together. And if it is, and if we truly feel like we can help you, we'll extend an invitation for you to apply for the program. So you can go to careersonvacation.com/ready now to meet with one of the coaches and spend some time with them and learn more about that. But Sarah, thank you again. I love what you do. It's so needed in the world. And I think everyone should go follow Sarah. She's an amazing success story, and keep us posted. I'll see you over in the grad group, I'm sure. So, all right, lady, thank you. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.